Hello, welcome back to the Fish Locker out on the boat. Now, it's just about to get dark. It is 8:30 at night and we're going to do some night fishing. Now, I've done a couple of overnight sessions on the boat before, but I've never really had enough light to be able to do with the camera. I've got a new light now, so I'm going to try it out. And all I've done is I've just come out to an area and I'm feathering up a bit of fresh bait. Now, so far there are a lot of mackerel pilchards around. I've already got half a dozen decent mackerel, a few pilchards and a scad. Now all the feed has just come up to near the surface. We've got gannets going mad all over us. That's how I knew to come to this place here. All we're doing is collecting a bit of fresh bait. Oh, I've lost it. Mackerel come off just below the surface. All we're doing is collecting a bit of fresh bait, and then we're going to anchor up somewhere sheltered and fish through the night. I think 2 more mackerel and that will be perfect for us. Now, I've got fish coming through on the sounder now. I'll put a picture in here to show you what I'm seeing on the sounder. I can't show you 2 camera angles at the same time. Well, that's bait taken care of. Yeah, really good sized mackerel, aren't they? They are cracking mackerel, aren't they? Look. They are lovely looking fish, mackerel. Right, that's more than enough bait. I'll just go and dispatch all of these and then we'll go and get anchored up. You see how many birds are working in this area. There's a fish. Literally just cast out the back and let it drift. Oh, I've lost it. Ah, what was that? That was a nice fish, that, as well. The sounder's got loads of patches on it, so there are fish everywhere. You can just feel the excitement when the water's like this. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put a spinner on so it fishes a bit deeper. Put a bit of weight behind something now. I'm pretty sure they were bass. Could have just been mackerel that forced it all up to the surface, but I'm pretty sure it was bass. Nope. No. That one was a little pollock. Little ginger pollock. Right, let's get over there where them birds are. Nice little bass. Oh, they haven't half got some spines on them. One last look at him. Not done so bad not done too bad so far. I've had pollock, mackerel, scad, pilchards, porcod and bass. So I've had 6 species. The only problem is them dopey seagulls keep thinking that there's loads of fish. Usually these sidewinder lures are really good for hookups. I've lost 2 fish already on this. I don't know if they're just snapping at it, like hitting it and foul hooking or what, or if it's just smaller fish sometimes, like they strike and they strike and they strike. Oh. Yeah, a smaller fish will strike at the tail. The mackerel. Picked up a mackerel on it this time. That is what the mackerel has just spit out, look. It's a little tiny pilchard. There. So that's what they're eating. Not too dissimilar, is it? I didn't intend on coming in here fishing, but I just couldn't pass up the opportunity. Right, well, I've got the anchor down in the first spot that I'm going to fish. Sun's literally just gone behind the hills. Temperatures just dropped. As soon as the sun went, it just went woof, temperatures just dropped. So as soon as the boat's decided where it wants to swing, where it wants to sit, I'm going to start getting some baits out. When I do, I will show you the rigs. Well, this is how much light we have. I'm sorry if it looks like I aren't looking at you. That's because I'm looking straight into a light and I can't really see. Now I've literally just got my rods out and I'm just making up a couple of spare hook lengths. I have 2 thin mackerel baits out to either side and I have some live prawns straight off the back. And the left hand rod and the right hand rod have both had bites on. That tells me it was likely to be a small huss, because it was like a real sharp rap and then nothing. So probably a little bull huss. The bait that we have out to the side has got a bite on it. I don't know how well I'm going to be able to show you. Can't tell what these fish are until they're right next to the boat. This one is a dogfish. A lot of weed down there as well. We're going to have to contend with. And there you are. Look, there's a bite. That was the type of bite that we had before. You hear the ratchet go then? A real aggressive bite and then nothing. That says bull huss to me. The rigs are incredibly simple. It is just, on this one I'm running a grip lead on a running ledger, a 3/0 specimen extra and a small strip of mackerel. I'm only fishing in around about 30 to 40 feet of water. The reason why I'm casting the baits out to the sides and letting them run right down the back, not only is because of the light, but because of any banging on the boat, you're going to be able to hear it under the water. I have grip leads on those at the side so they stay out there. And the rolling lead on the back and on the other side is so that it rolls around in the tide until it finds like a gully, and a gully will be where fish hold them. Let's get myself sorted, get my headlamp out, see if we can't find something better. That's a bite there. Tiny little dogfish. I don't know if you saw that bite then. Another stinking doggy. That real aggressive bite as well. Slap that bait on quick so I can get it cast out. Yeah, if all I'm going to be catching is doggies here, I'm going to give it another hour, and if all I do is catch more and more dogfish, I'm going to go and move to somewhere else. Because I'm not wasting good bait and rigs on dogfish. Let's get that other bait out. Yeah, the fish I'm fishing for, the fish I'm hoping for, are spotted rays. Now I've only ever caught 3 in my life, and that was when I was fishing for thornbacks. So it would be nice to be able to pull one out. They are quite a hard fighting ray. They don't grow very big, but they are very nice to look at. Ray bites generally, they can be like a bit of a shuffling bite and then nothing, and then it'll just go start running away. The shuffling bite is as a ray comes and lands on top of your bait and positions itself. Or you can also get a bite just simply where it steams in, picks it up and goes off. As they are a smaller ray, you generally have to use smaller hooks. That's why I've got 2/0s and 3/0s. And they like fish baits. Unfortunately, so do dogfish. I'm reluctant to strike early on a bite like this, because if it is a ray and it's just positioning itself on top, you might miss it. Well, you will likely miss it. Best case scenario is you'll foul hook it and it's not good for the fish, is it? Right. I've given it 3/4 of an hour. We've now had a total of 9 dogfish. We lost one little eel on the side of the boat, and that, believe it or not, is a bullhuss. Perfect little tiny bullhuss. Didn't I just say that I thought that the bites that we were getting would be little tiny bullhuss? Well, there is the proof. Just little tiny No sounds. Yeah. Look at him. Perfect little guy, isn't he? Can't be long off the egg sack. Still hellishly aggressive, but yeah. So dogfish and little bullhuss. It's got 15 minutes to redeem itself, and then we're going to try somewhere else. And another one. Another little tiny strap eel. Yeah, we're moving. What can you do? You can't choose what bites your hook, can you? Right, well, I've re-anchored for the third time now. The second place that I came to, when I put the anchor down, first 3 baits that I put out, as soon as I brought them back, just masses of weed, like real long stringy bits of thong weed. You just can't fish through it. So this isn't the mark where I think I'm going to catch any. This is just a mark where I can anchor up safely, get some baits in the water, and get my head down for an hour or two. Now we've got the tide flooding, so it's all going in that direction. We have a tiny bit of wind, and we have wind and tide together, so I know that the boat is going to be in that direction. It's all going in this direction. I've got my baits out on the ratchet, and I have that one sat up there with a very weak drag, and I will spin the camera around and I'll show you where I'm going to get laid out. Right, as you can see, nav lights are on. There's my new lamp. I've lifted the forward hatch up and put a sheet down, and I'm just going to run out my sleeping bag in a minute so I can be laid out down there. I've got my GPS and fish finder on. I'm going to turn them off in a minute. I have a couple of 3 baits already laid out and some pre-cut, so I don't need to mess around in the night. And all of my rods are out and ready on the ratchet, just waiting for a fish. So I'm going to get myself sat down, get my sleeping bag out, put my coat on and have a warm drink. Cheeky little blighter. Big old mama dogfish picked up one of the live prawns. That wasn't meant for you. That is a decent sized dogfish, that. Yeah, I have a 2-hook rig, and I was baiting it, look, with live prawns. And I had it suspended about maybe 3 feet off the bottom, so that came off the bottom to take those prawns. It's no secret how I bait up with these live prawns. I've shown this in several of my other videos as well. When I have a long shanked J hook, I open the prawn out and thread the hook down through the prawn like that. Like this. By taking a little bit of bait elastic and wrapping it around the fan of the tail. You hold the prawn to the hook. This is the type of seaweed that I was talking about earlier. It's just everywhere. Can't do much to get away with it. I always like to make up 3 or 4 hook lengths at least. That way I don't want to be messing about and getting dirty hands again, do you? Even if you just wind one in and change it out. Right, let's get the hook length changed over and then we will see about getting my head down. Another little tiny bullhuss. Look just like a dogfish, but a bullhuss has these large nasal flaps. That's 3 of them now. I might just bring the rods in so I can get get a couple of hours sleep. Good morning. As you can see the ship's coming in there. The sun has just come up. I'm just going to put my bag away in a minute. Just got the rods back out. I'll tidy myself up. We might see about when the sun's first come up anyway. We'll see what type of day it's going to be. I mean, it's glorious now. There wasn't a breath of wind all night last night. The only problem with that means is it just means that everything, like this, look here, everything's just covered in condensation. Yeah, I've managed to get the rods back out. We'll tidy up a little bit, make sure everything's clean, and we might look at cooking some breakfast. See this bite on here? Didn't take long, did it? Just as last night, it's just little tiny huss and dogfish. It's all we had all night. I think since we moved spots, when we finally moved back to here, I think we'd had something like 6 more little huss, 3 dogfish. That brings our total of dogfish to around about 20. Our total of huss, I think, to something like 9. No rays though, sadly, but you can't choose what takes you hook, can you? Just a 3-0 on 2 feet, a 40-pound mono, and I've just got a slither of mackerel. Starting at the sinewy end that's come off the tail. I'll just go through it a couple of 3 times. Just so that the shank of the hook is full and it leaves plenty to flap around. And then I take the bait elastic that I keep losing, take my bait elastic and just lash the tip around the eye. Like that. Stick 2 fresh baits out and we'll give it half an hour. We might have a run out there and see if there's any bass around, and then I'm going to find somewhere quiet and we're going to cook up some breakfast. Wasn't a cold night, wasn't a bad night. It was a clear sky, as you can see, a clear sky now, so there is condensation everywhere. It wasn't cold. This is a lifesaver. I love these canteens. Keeps I can't remember the exact time scales, but it keeps things like ice cold with ice cubes in for like 90 hours, and I think it keeps things hot, like boiling hot, for like 30. Unbelievable. I've had a hot drink. I've got hot Ribena in here now. not really one for hot drinks. Don't drink tea or coffee. Just hot Ribena. Yep, most definitely time to go. They have a horrible habit of when they come on board the boat, they open their mouth and go like that and just spew everywhere. And I've just cleaned up. Let's do it again. There's mess all over the side of the boat now. Right, time to go. Let's get these wound in. There's a bite on that rod now. Oh, that feels like a ray. Sitting there, heavy in the tide. They're just sitting there. They don't half scrap these males. Well, that was perfect. Perfect success, right as we were about to leave. That almost justifies you saying, oh, one last cast. Right. Look at that guy. It's not the spotted ray that we're out after, but a ray is a ray. There's the hook just in his mouth. Come on, out you come. You need to be careful putting your fingers near these, because they have almost got like extendable mouths. I've seen quite a few people lose the skin off their fingers on them, because although they haven't got teeth, they have got very strong crushing pads. I'm gonna have to get another. There you go. There you go, stunning male thornback ray. This dark nose, quite a lot of rays do that, and it's when they're breeding. And these here are the claspers. That's how you can tell it's a male. Got loads of little black spots on him, haven't they? Oh, and a little ginger one as well. I don't know how well you can see, but those eyes are just amazing. See his gills going there, can't you? They're never very spectacular rays when they go back. They usually just cartwheel straight down. I don't usually like trolling, but I thought I'd give it a crack. I don't usually like trolling lures. I thought I would just give it a try. And there he is. Another lovely little schoolie bass. Taken on a Skerry's reel eel. Oh, it really is a little schoolie, isn't he? They're nailing this green one this morning. There you go. I've just gone back to start that run again. That was practically a top water take. There you go. Whoop. You have to be careful with them because they are absolutely covered in spines. These little schoolies seem to do more damage than the big ones half the time. There's a bass. Yeah, I'd literally just spun myself round to do that run again. I'd run that one back and I'd just cast this out and hit it the second it hit the surface. That green one again. That one has to be the smallest one yet. I don't know if you can hear them and see them. 4 peregrine falcons. I was beginning to think that this lure might have fouled. Might have been a bit of weed on it or something. Because there just nothing was taking it. Still only a really, really little one though. I've just got a habit of just thrashing around like crazy, stabbing you with their spikes. There you go. Right, well, I had hoped to have caught one big enough for breakfast, but it just seems to be that everything around these little tiny schoolies. There, look, a little piece of weed on the back like that will absolutely kill the lure. Fish won't take it if it's got a bit of weed on it. Yeah, I had hoped to get a bass for breakfast. They all seem to be little tiny ones, so I'm just going to go and take myself in there. I'm going to anchor up and I'm going to get a little barbecue out. Right, well, I got myself into a nice little sheltered spot and I'm sitting down to a bit of breakfast. Now, I made this tray up out of some pallets, out of some old pallet wood, and just filled it with some gravel off the beach, disconnected all the fuel lines from the engine and took them all away. You can't put one of these obviously down on fiberglass because you'll melt it. Also, fire on a boat, big no-no. So if you're going to do this, you've got to be very careful. That's why I made this little tray. As you can see, look, I just made a tray out of pallet wood, and it's just gravel or sand, and that way it keeps the heat from the little barbecue. And then when I'm finished, just tip the gravel straight over the side. It's just gravel off the beach. Anyway, I'm going to get stuck into my breakfast. I've said this in a few of my other videos as well. It really is the simple things in life, isn't it? It's taken me to get to this point in my life to realise that. Yeah. I think every fishing session should end in a barbecue. I'm just trying to finish off that packet of burgers there. There was only one left and I felt sorry for it. So yeah, I'm going to have eaten all 4. Been a good night. I enjoyed myself. I'm glad I managed to get that lamp tested out. I don't know how it's going to be on the video. I hope it's not too bright. If it is too bright, what I might do is on the next one I might have to put like a screen over it. Let me know what you think. Would you like to see more of these type of videos? Would you like to see more overnight fishing videos? The next time, I think I might try an offshore one. Like I might try and anchor up somewhere, maybe not on a reef, maybe not on a wreck, but on a reef. Stick out a couple of big live baits and then maybe even a shark rod. I don't know. I'll have a think about it. Let me know. Yeah, had a decent. We'll come straight into the feed. Had a good crack on the lures. Had mackerel, pilchard, pollock, bass, scad. That was all just on the lures to start off with. Got anchored up. First place. Well, we tried a couple of 3 places. We didn't get the spotted ray, not for lack of trying last night, but just wasn't our night. Dogfish, lost count, over 20. Small huss as well. Best one was probably about 3 or 4 pound. Again, lost count, over a dozen. Small conger eels, 3 or 4, nothing over 2 pound. Just rig wreckers. Quite a few as well where I could see the tapping bites, and then I thought, I left it. In the end, I just had to wind the rods in just because I was just getting plagued out by little stuff. Wound the rods in, had a couple of hours sleep. It's quite comfortable down in here actually. It's only a small boat, but it was quite comfortable. And then I tell you what, as soon as it come dawn, I put the baits back out. I'm glad I held on as long as I did, because I got a cracking male thornback ray. And then had a bit of fun trolling. I was talking to a friend of mine. He's featured in 1 or 2 of these videos. He does a lot of kayaking, and he was asking me. He says, "Do you do much trolling, like trolling lures?" I just said no. I says the reason why is I don't find it that effective, and also being a tight northerner, I feel like it's a waste of fuel. Where I could just drift and cast instead of steaming up and down. So I'll give it a crack this morning. We had 6 bass in about 3/4 of an hour, so it's not bad. A bit of a faff, but yeah, I suppose it has its place. Rather than steaming full speed to a place, you might just leave half an hour early and steam slowly and troll some lures. We will see. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the video. My burger's almost ready. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you've enjoyed joining me, spending a night on the boat. I hope it's been interesting for you, and I will see you next time. Perfect.